It wasn't supposed to be like this. It was supposed to be different this time. He was supposed to finish the story.
Wrestling for many is a family business. And while for some the pressure of their family lineage might be too large of a shadow to escape from, for others they are able to blaze their own paths towards the light. Cody Rhodes is the second son to the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, a legend of the territory days and a major player within WCW and WWE. Dusty was able to take those years of experience and mold and foster the next generation of great professional wrestlers, many who are at the top of their game today.
NXT was arguably another child to the man. Those who learned from this great even coined a nickname for themselves, Dusty's Kids. Before Cody would even enter a wrestling ring, his older brother Dustin made a name for himself as the boundary-pushing Gold Dust in WWF, feuding with the likes of Rowdy Roddy Piper and Razor Ramon.
Cody Rhodes, while extremely talented, had a hard time finding his footing in his first run within the WWE. Stop-start pushes, gimmick changes that weren't really allowed to fully flourish, and simple rehashings of his family name hindered him. Cody Rhodes now, of course, is one of the biggest megastars within professional wrestling, but in order for him to get to that point, in order for him to live his American dream, it had to first become a nightmare.
I have to finish the story.
Why not turn our attentions to the future?
Cody Garrett Reynolds was born June 30th, 1985 in Marietta, Georgia. A two-time wrestling state champion in high school, Cody had even started his pro wrestling journey as early as the age of 12 and would perform regular referee duties for his father's promotion, Turnbuckle Championship Wrestling. Afterwards, Cody would have a short stint in acting school and then formally begin his professional wrestling training. Starting his WWE career at Ohio Valley Wrestling, a developmental territory before the days of NXT, he learned from the greats like Al Snow, Danny Davis, Ricky Morton, and the Viper himself, Randy Orton.
Randy Orton would play a major role in introducing Cody Rhodes to the main WWE roster, losing to the Viper in his debut match. Now, soon enough, these one-time opponents would align themselves and secure their family's legacy for years to come.
The balance of power shifts permanently. Young superstars will try their best to impress me so that they may one day stand at my side.
Along with the soon-to-debut Ted DiBiase Jr., the three would form Legacy, a faction of second and third generation WWE superstars who were looking to prove that they were just as good as the men and wrestlers who brought them into this world. Randy Orton, for his part, would soon win the WWE title, and Ted and Cody would soon pick up the tag straps in a match where Cody beat himself to become champion. Look, 2000s WWE was wild, okay? You just kind of had to be there.
The group would even go on to have a high-profile WrestleMania feud with the McMahon family. With all three men winning gold and being featured strongly in WWE, it's not hard to see these gentlemen leveling up in their fruitful careers to top-level single stars. Like most things in wrestling, when the group eventually broke up, the future was looking promising for a young Cody Rhodes.
Rhodes would soon use this heel work he had been able to develop under Orton and DiBiase to become dashing Cody Rhodes, the most beautiful professional wrestler to ever grace this earth. A self-image that was soon shattered, much like Rey Mysterio shattered his nose. He would soon become undashing Cody Rhodes and talk about how ugly and grotesque he was now, even though he looked exactly the same.
Several months ago, Rey Mysterio intentionally drove his knee brace into my face. He shattered the bones. He changed me from handsome. I'm embarrassed. I don't want to look at myself in the mirror, and I don't want to be looked at by others.
Over the next few years, Rhodes would always be in the mix in the Intercontinental title scene and tag title scenes respectively, even teaming up with the likes of Drew McIntyre, Damien Sandow, and reuniting with Ted Jr. at one point. We would even see brothers team up, with Cody and Goldust teaming up together in storyline to get Cody's job back after being fired from the Authority, and later going on to defeat The Shield to win the WWE Tag Team titles.
Like most things in the hellscape of 2010's WWE, especially run by Vince McMahon, I guess Cody needed more character. So, a new identity was found in the fifth dimension, and a new character was born.
Stardust and a live microphone. Oh, this must be gold, right? We've been watching the last few weeks. This must be gold. I'm going to tell you about Triton, one of the moons of Jupiter, or the age of Aquarius, or even how Stardust spends his nights.
It's inspired by comic book villains and borrowing from Goldust's work in WWE, Stardust was definitely an odd time for the American Nightmare's career, to say the least.
It was a change of pace, no doubt, but Rhodes was able to step out of his comfort zone as a performer, even regaining the WWE tag titles with Dustin later down the line after the gimmick change. Rumblings even began of the Rhodes brothers maybe facing off at a large WWE pay-per-view, a classic brother versus brother story. And we did finally get it. At Fastlane. You know, the WWE event you might have forgotten even existed until this exact moment where I brought it up. You see, at this point in our story, Cody isn't a young upstart who's just happy to be there. He had been a 10-year pro at this point, and had hit a very clear glass ceiling on the card.
Cody knew the kingdom the Rhodes family came from, and we would all be reminded of that fact soon enough. But at this point in our story, it's not from the climbing of a mountain, but the sobering stings of reality.
I just thank God that there are people like yourself come out to see the American dream, because when I was growing up, I sure didn't think 265 pounds of blue-eyed soul would captivate a country like I have. The people drive me.
We don't have to talk about what I've done or where I've been. You've met my two sons. I'm so proud of them. One thing is for sure, though, when you go back and you look at our industry, you look at passion. The passion I have for this industry is why I'm still here.
Dusty Rhodes is a legend as a wrestler, as a promoter, and more importantly as a father. And the imprint that he has left upon this industry will be undeniable forever. Like most children, losing his father was a major moment in Cody's life. But it cut much deeper than that, because in more ways than one, he was at a crossroads in his personal life and in the ring as well.
WWE had him in a creative gridlock, and he just lost his biggest supporter. What is he truly to do when feeling so lost? As they say, the only way out is through. And on May 22nd, 2016, WWE and Cody Rhodes came to terms on his release from the company.
For the first time in his life, this man was on his own in the world of professional wrestling. But he wouldn't be riding solo for long, for he would find a band of brothers that had so much momentum, it would spark a fiery revolution.
I carried every ounce of anti-monopoly sentiment on my shoulders. I held every grain of the revolution in my hand.
You've known me as the grandson of a plumber. You've known me as Dashing and the Prince of Dark. But is the world ready for the next chapter of the story? Is the world ready for the American Nightmare?
Bullet Club for life.
Right from the jump, Cody Rhodes started working like a madman in the independent scene, working for any company you could probably think of. Impact Wrestling, Global Force Wrestling, Evolve, and many, many more. It's almost like the spirit of the old territory days were radiating from his fingertips. Along the way, he collected a lot of gold. And as a sweet moment at the first ever All In, Cody Rhodes won the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. The same title that cemented the American dream.
The American Nightmare alongside his Bullet Club brothers were tearing up the indie scene like no one had ever seen before. While tearing up the internet wrestling world, Cody ensured that some wrongs were made right, with him and his brother Dustin finally getting to tell their story the way they wanted, and finally having a match that their family name deserved.
But Dustin, I don't need a partner. I need my older brother.
A story of brothers, a story of blood, and a story of grief. With this momentum leading to the creation of All Elite Wrestling, Cody was showing that he was Dusty's son more than ever before. His father was every bit a promoter as he was a performer.
The American Nightmare was in a very similar situation, being executive vice president of All Elite Wrestling. So, for him to ensure the creation of new stars, he himself had to step out of the spotlight.
If I do not defeat Chris Jericho at Full Gear, I will never challenge for the AEW World Championship again.
While not technically being in the main event, Cody Rhodes still kept himself busy on the AEW cards, having feuds with the likes of MJF, Butcher and Blade, and Shaq of all people. While the world title wouldn't be in his future, it would actually be the establishing of another title for AEW that would have us see some of Cody's best work yet.
Cody's TNT title Open Challenge set an astonishing standard for this new title, while bringing in new names to the AEW roster, like Ricky Starks and Eddie Kingston. During this time, Cody would arguably have his greatest rival in the late, great Mr. Brody Lee. Brody Lee's squash of Cody Rhodes, followed by their legendary dog collar match on Dynamite, set the wrestling world ablaze during the pandemic era, and this would unfortunately be the last installment into their rivalry, as this would be the last match of one of the greatest TNT champions of all time. Life is unfair.
As we leave the Daily's Place era of All Elite Wrestling, Cody's stories got a bit odd here. And this is where we coined the phrase, the Codyverse. Cody's stories just felt so removed from what was being presented at AEW at the time on a weekly basis. Not to also mention, no matter the opponent, he would somehow win. Sound familiar? At this point too, the title that he had helped establish as the working horse title of the company was being passed around hot potato style between a new wrestler every week.
The fans most definitely let the American Nightmare know about this, with boos and calls for a heel turn growing louder and louder with the crowds. Sure, the old Cody might have just done it to make the crowd happy, but much like AEW, Cody Rhodes had changed a lot since the company's formation. He had had a child, aided his friend's family after his passing, and was the face of the company's charity endeavors and public relations. The company he aided in founding, and himself as a performer, were growing further and further apart as time marched on. With losing sight on where to go from here, a gift would guide Cody Rhodes to the kingdom that he was once promised. While feuding with America Top Team on AEW television, Dan Lambert gifted Cody Rhodes a replica belt. This was a replica belt of the old WWF title that his father and Billy Graham had fought over so many years ago.
When Cody looked down and saw this piece of history, I can only imagine what he was thinking. Maybe it was that he still had a story to tell. Maybe some of it was that while he loved his new family, some stories you have to finish on your own.
You need to acknowledge me.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
The Throne Smasher had returned to WWE, and we saw his transition from indie rabble-rouser to face of the largest wrestling company in the world. The man had grown a lot in his time away, and while tribalism between WWE and AEW was white hot, this was truly the stage for him to claim what was his birthright.
Being the top babyface of a wrestling company is most wrestlers' dream. Cena, Hogan, Austin, to be the guy is a role many never get the chance to see. Whether it was for spite towards a rival or recognition of talent, Cody was finally there. Some conflictingness did follow the man over to the big dub. Any questions around Rhodes' contentious placement on the card would soon be silenced, but not with boisterous proclamations, simply replacing any grandiosity with stunned gasps.
Gentlemen, we said less than 100%. 50 would be lucky.
After a grueling Hell in a Cell match with Seth Rollins and completely tearing his pec, Cody Rhodes took some time off in order to heal. And in that absence, we saw a bigger fondness and respect grow for Dusty's son.
Upon his return, Cody needed to claim his goal and fight for what was his, and more importantly, finish his story.
And the American Nightmare's journey to the dream begins once again tonight in Texas.
But now the attention turns to Cody Rhodes.
How about his entire life leading to this moment, from dashing to Stardust to the main event at WrestleMania.
Rhodes was set on a date with destiny. Winning the Royal Rumble gave him a shot at the Tribal Chief and the King of WWE, Roman Reigns, at the granddaddy of them all.
As he entered SoFi Stadium, the rumble of the woes filled the air from the WWE Universe. His weight belt, emblazoned with every promotion that had helped him get to this point. His departed friend's family and his own wife and daughter sitting ringside. It was the perfect ending. It was like the perfect fairy tale.
Here is your winner, and still the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Roman Reigns!
Cody Rhodes suffered a true American nightmare tonight.
How did this happen? The timing was right. New roads were paved. The not-so-prodigal son had built his kingdom. It was perfect. So what happened? Was Cody really the victim of Roman's legacy? Was he a victim of the real world affecting the world of kayfabe? Or did he really have to face more adversity?
Only those within Titan Towers will truly know. The one thing we do know for sure is that Cody Rhodes will never stop until he finishes his story, for it is the story of the Rhodes family. We will follow him until the end, for this is his kingdom. And who knows, maybe second time's the charm.
A couple of things I wanted to kind of add in that didn't really fit into the main story. When Cody first got released from WWE, he went on like a shoot interview spree. So if you want really funny shoot interviews, literally listen to anything he's done with anyone, like Colt Cabana, any like type of inside the rope stuff. Really, really great stuff, really funny time if you want to waste an afternoon. Also, if you wondered what happened to Ted Jr., he is currently waiting trial for welfare fraud in the state of Mississippi. And these are alleged things that I'm not saying he did in order to cover my butt. There's a case out there and info is online if you want to hear about it. Thank you guys so much for watching Extreme League Wrestling. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another video. Who should I cover next? Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to suplex that like button. This has been Extreme League Wrestling, and I'll catch you next time.